Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday and we will have more economic news today, initial jobless claims and some more. So let's start right away here with our economic calendar. We will have GDP in about 10 minutes and initial jobless claims and pending home sales half an hour after the market is open. So GDP will be important, especially in terms of inflation and therefore for interest rate hikes here. Currently we have 77% probability, just reloading here. Yeah, 76% probability for 25 basis points rate hike. So you see there's a shift downwards to lower probabilities, but still 3/4 are expecting these 25 basis points to be happen next Wednesday. And for the other probabilities, we still see the same, 4.5% at the year end 2023. So right before the news, let's see the major indexes. 13,026 points, right above 13,000 level for Nasdaq. Right now we had good earnings from Meta yesterday. Meta was 10% in the green. Really good earnings, better than expected earnings. And therefore the Nasdaq is up today. Let's see how long this will last, but it's a common picture. We see that before the Federal Reserve meeting, we see positive market movements, and especially end of months we see positive movements here. So it's just normal that we see a shift back. So we are right at the resistance right now, 20 EMA and 9 EMA level here. But of course we can go to higher levels and then end the day right below the moving averages. We are still below the parabolic dots and ADX is still indicating a short trend. So therefore nothing special that we see a move backwards here. But yeah, I'm still in a short position and still have a short opinion for the next week, especially after the FOMC meeting. So yeah, the Meta options question, I haven't forgot it. So let's talk right away about Meta, and I will bring up the option trader here from my trading platform and we can talk about the option position. You will have to tell me again the strike prices of your option position, Daniel. So you said the expiration was April 28th. Let's just see the Meta stock first. So you cannot trade outside regular trading hours the options, the stock options, but you will be able to trade Meta as a stock. So we can already see what was happening with the stock yesterday after the market closed when the earnings came out. And here we see this big move to the upside. This was a 12% move. And yeah, until now it's still 11.8% in the green from the closing of yesterday. Right now at $234.30. So let's see where it closes tomorrow. The expiration of the options is tomorrow. And you sold a 225 call. So this one is in the money now. So we have about $10 value, intrinsic value here because it's in the money. And you bought a 232.50. 232.50. So this one is in the money as well. So you would lose if you would wait for tomorrow for expiration. You would lose the difference here between these two strikes, $7.50 max. But of course the loss now is a little bit lower because there's still extrinsic value in both options here. And especially here in this option is more extrinsic value, and therefore you don't have the $7.50 loss right now. So it is probably better to manage it right away when the market is open, or right in the first 10 or 15 minutes, because you will still have some extrinsic value here, especially if you think that we will stay above 232.50. So of course you can still hold the position and wait. If we drop below 232.50, then you will have a lower risk here, or less. You would lose less, but yeah, because you only have 1.5 day left, I would not wait for too long and just close this trade, accept the loss, and then move to another position, or if you want to adjust it, you can also roll it out in time. So what is the other possibility you could do? You could go to next week, May 5th, and then look here for another options position. So I will just show you this one here, 225 sold and a 232.50 bought. This one is your position here, this bear call spread, and it closed yesterday at 150, but it will open today at about $6.50 or $7, about this. And yeah, so you will have to to buy it back for a higher amount, and then you can try to roll it out in time here, so onto the next week, May 5th, or I would roll it further out in time. If you still believe that Meta will come down again, then roll it further out in time. Your problem will be that the implied volatility will drop. So if you look here, the implied volatility was at 52% yesterday. So I will show you on a daily time frame here, 52%, and this implied volatility will drop probably back to 45 or 40% because there were good earnings, so there's no more fear, and after the earnings normally the implied volatility is dropping. So you will get less money if you sell new options, and yeah, this is always a problem when you try to roll a position, especially one expiring tomorrow. So I would look for another underlying instead of Meta. Of course you can roll it out, but I wouldn't try to do this because it's fully in the money now. Just accept the loss and yeah, look for another underlying, and maybe for one which hasn't had earnings yet, so you can still earn some nice premium when the implied volatility is there. What do you think about a gap fill trade with options on Tesla? Yeah, I talked about this in all the previous streams. So we are near this gap fill here. We are trying to enter this gap now, as you can see, to $153, and the gap will be closed here at 145. So there's still some room here, but if the market turns positive today, we can also go back to the 157.50, which was a previous support in the previous 2 trading days. And therefore I would wait for a better entry, but then of course you can speculate on the gap fill here with a 145 put, or just a bear put spread if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Yeah, there are several possibilities here, and I can show you the implied volatility for this one. It's here. So you see there's a low implied volatility and therefore this implied volatility will probably go to higher levels when the market is coming down and when Tesla is dropping more. So you can profit from 2 things: the falling prices here and higher implied volatility. Therefore I would wait for the price to go back here to this $157, and then you can enter the position with a 145 strike or even lower and profit from a dropping stock price here. But now with the news, let's go back to the news first to see GDP and initial jobless claims and the price movements in our Nasdaq. So here back to a 1-minute time frame because we still have 1 minute left, and pre-market high point. Let's just see the high point. So this is the current high point, and let's just draw another line for the low point. So right at the Fibonacci level is a low point, and another pre-market low point is sitting here, 12,936 points. Another point is here, which was during the European opening. This was another high point. So this should be our area if we drop back into, but if the numbers are taken good, then probably we will trade to higher levels. And this can also be 13,125 was the previous high point. So there's no other resistance here. So if the news are really good, then there's a lot of room to the upside back to the parabolic dot, but I'm not expecting this right now. So let's just wait for the news and see the market reaction on a 1-minute time frame, and then we can further discuss the stocks. Oh, it's dropping already, 13,000, and going to the upside again. So initial jobless claims a little bit lower than expected, 230k instead of 248, GDP only 1.1%. So wow, this is a lot lower than expected. So this is a good sign for the incoming recession. The first quarter is only increasing by 1.1% GDP growth. This is really bad in my opinion. So we will soon be in the negative territory if this expands here. So look for the previous quarters here. So Q3 2022 we had about 3%. You see here 3.2% was the final number for Q3. For Q4 the final number was 2.6, so it was already dropping, and now we have 1.1% instead of the expected 2%. Yes, it's the first expectation here, the first number, preliminary release, but you see the direction, and this is really bad for the market. Because we don't want to see back negative numbers, because I think you can all remember what happened in 2022 with the Q1, Q2 numbers, which were negative. The market went negative until October, and then we had the first positive signs from GDP growth, and then the market turned to the upside again. So the market doesn't want to see negative numbers, but probably we will go back into negative territory. And yeah, this is not what the market wants to see, therefore there's this sell-off. It's good, it's in my favor, I'm not complaining, but yeah, probably more downside potential with these low numbers here from GDP growth. And yeah, jobless claims still at a high number, almost in line, continuing jobless claims, but initial jobless claims a little bit lower than expected, but it's the weekly numbers, therefore we just have to wait. PCE prices 4.2%. Wow, that's a lot higher than the expected 0.5%. So the market is slowing down. We see less GDP growth, but still high inflation. So both factors not good for the market. So let's see the expectations now. This will be interesting. 77%, not a big change right now. But yeah, with high inflation numbers, we will probably get the 25 basis points move next Wednesday, and therefore more pressure on the market. Yeah, let's see pending home sales later, if this number is as well above the expectation like the previous home numbers from this week. Let's see the previous number. I think it was on Wednesday here, and we were on building permits, which were higher than expected here. But we had new home sales here as well, higher than expected. So this was a hot number here. But let's see if our pending home sales are as well higher than expected here, than the 0.5%. So this one will be interesting when the market is open again. But let's do our work for the other index and commodities. So ES future for S&P 500 is as well a little bit in the green, 0.5% today, but you see we are below the Fibonacci retracement, below the moving averages, therefore a lot of resistance here. And then move on with our natural gas. It's interesting. Natural gas just dipped back to the 230 yesterday, made lows at 227 and retested the lows today, but we still have lower highs, and we will probably retest the previous low points here, and therefore I'm waiting for the 220 before I enter new positions here. Crude oil was interesting. Crude oil dipped lower yesterday a lot, as you can see here. So this was a 3.7% move, and it closed this gap here finally. So back to the 50% Fibonacci retracement, which could act as a smaller support. So maybe going back to 76, but then there's still more downside potential when the market is cooling down, especially with this lower than expected GDP data. Therefore, I would not take on long positions here, just wait for higher levels to short again. Then we have wheat. Wheat is still dropping the 2, 4, 6, 7th consecutive day in a row now. So no level where the market will hold here. But in 2 weeks we will have the new discussions between Russia and Ukraine for the shipments of wheat from Ukrainian havens, and therefore this one will be interesting for the wheat prices, and I would wait for for taking on more long positions when we come near the date of, I think it was May 16th, and therefore I would just wait for some more days and wait for seeing a bottom here. Then sugar price. Sugar, let's just move on to the next expiration. I already have it open. Do I have it open? No. Here, July. So sugar is moving to the upside again, still not finding a high point. And yeah, we are making new highs in July future, as you can see. So still strong here, waiting for the price to find a high point to enter a short position again. I already have some short calls here, not going too good here. You see a high volume in sugar futures right now, but the prices are still pushing to the upside here. Then let's see orange juice. Orange juice is dropping, or was dropping yesterday, and today we are dropping further. We went to the limit down yesterday, and yeah, we are going to lower levels again today. Let's see where the price will find a bottom here, but we had the same picture with sugar, and yeah, so finally we see that there is a downturn in orange juice prices, but I will wait for a settlement below 260 in July future here before I enter new short positions, because we are back in a sideways trading phase right now. Then let's see what else to discuss in the future section. Euro US dollar. I still have a short position here, and you see with this bad GDP data there is a downturn in Euro US dollar. This is perfect for my position, so I opened some more shorts here in Euro US dollar. So I'm betting on a stronger US dollar and a weaker euro, and this is exactly what happened here with the GDP news. There is some fear in the market, and therefore the money is going back into US dollar. This will also affect the gold price. So gold was turning a little bit lower, as you can see, with a stronger US dollar. Gold is struggling right now here. Perfect. I have no gold position, but yeah, we always see this correlation here. Then what else? Yeah, DAX 40. So DAX 40 is still green today. As you can see, 0.2% green, making back some of the losses from the previous two trading days. Still in the sideways trading phase. Not interesting to trade it right now, but still on the watch list. Then First Republic is also interesting. So we had a big drop yesterday. Again, it was here, well, 30% from the closing of the previous day to the closing of yesterday. Made lows at $4.76 and had several trading halls yesterday, as you can see from here. So we had trading halls on the downturn and trading halls on the upturn again. And yeah, it is pretty weak, so we still not know a lot about the future of First Republic, if this bank can be stabilized and rescued, or if all the stockholders will burn their money if they invest now. So I still have 5 strike puts, but I got $2.70 yesterday for this 5 strike put. So my break-even point is a lot lower, but yeah, we will see if there will be a new offering of stocks, and this will will bring the stock price more to the downside. We will have to wait for a clear bottom to be found here, but the implied volatility is just going crazy. 500% implied volatility per year in the options for First Republic here. Your question, Daniel, is it worth holding the Meta position in hope it will drop to 225 by tomorrow based on the news that just came out, or see how the market reacts after the morning bell? Make the choice. Yeah, it's up to you. It's your position, so you have to manage it. I don't have to take on this decision, but it's up to you. I don't know what you are expecting, but if I go back to daily time frame here for Meta, so if you are just hoping that we go back below 225, I wouldn't hold, because you will lose even more. So if you wait for the expiration tomorrow, you will not lose the $6 or $7, you will lose the whole $750. So $750 per contract combination you opened here with a bear call spread. But if Meta will really drop, then yes, that's good to hold, but it's up to you. I don't know what the market will do today and tomorrow. Even if the Nasdaq was dropping today with the GDP data, Meta can still rise. So the earnings were really good, and therefore I wouldn't bet on a downturn in Meta for tomorrow. But of course, everything can happen. Everything can happen. It's up to you. You still have 50 minutes to take a decision when the market is open. Then you will see what your loss will finally be if you close your position right now. But I wouldn't hold on a losing position. So you made a bet here and you lost it. So therefore accept your loss. You limited your loss to $7.50, and you can now limit your loss to maybe $6 or $7 instead of the $7.50. So therefore I would take on the loss and say, okay, that's it, and look for the next trade with another underlying here, because the implied volatility will probably drop to a low level. Yeah, Wix is still low. Implied volatility is low, back at 18 here. So we tried to reach the 20 in the previous 2 trading days, but couldn't manage to get above, and therefore still at low levels here at around 18. But when the fear is coming back with a bad GDP data, then we can soon, probably soon go above 20 again. Yeah, let's see what the FOMC meeting is bringing us in the next week here. What else do we have? TLT ETF for the bonds, and therefore we see nothing really interesting, just in a waiting position, just going sideways. There's no big shift and change in interest rate expectation, and therefore no big movement in TLT ETF here. Yeah, that's it for all the major index and stocks. Nvidia. I still have a long put in Nvidia. It was going higher yesterday with a good Microsoft earnings. So we still have time for Nvidia earnings coming out, I think at mid-May. But I have a 230 strike long put. And yeah, I'm profiting from the higher implied volatility here. But of course, the stock went lower the day before yesterday and was going higher by about 3% yesterday, but still not really strong, this stock. So still holding below the 280 level here. Therefore I'm holding my position and waiting, even if the time is going against me with a long position, with a long put position. But I can profit from higher implied volatility, and the implied volatility will probably rise and go to higher levels before the earnings, and therefore I can still wait in this June expiration with 230 strike long puts Nvidia. Yeah, let me know your position and your opinions about the market. So I'm expecting the market to hold the line right now, or just going sideways until FOMC meeting. But then after the FOMC meeting, we will probably see the new expectations, and therefore maybe a downturn. This is what I'm expecting right now. Of course, this market can shift pretty fast, but yeah, I still believe that we now have more signs for a turning market to the downside with this parabolic above the current chart and all the exponential moving averages above the chart. So therefore I still believe that we will see this downturn with a profit target here at around 12,560 points for my short future position in Nasdaq. I'm not adding to this position right now. I already have enough. I opened at 13,300 and 250 and some more at 13,100. So I have a lot of shorts right now, just waiting for the market to drop after FOMC meeting. It's a swing trade, and therefore I have time. Of course, it's a little bit annoying that we are always doing this sideways phases here. I should have taken some profits out here, because I know of the fact that we are often see a pullback before the month end and before FOMC meeting. But yeah, it is like it is. I'm in a swing trade position. I don't want to lower the position size. Therefore, I'm just staying in there and holding until after the FOMC decision is made and the market is hopefully turning to the downside again even more. Yeah, what is on my watch list? On my watch list is still the sugar and orange juice And as well, I'm looking at the EV sector, for example, with NIO, Chinese EV stock. So it had high prices of $67 in 2021. And yeah, you see now it turned to the downside by 87%. So the last time I traded this was 2019. I got it at $1.30 and I sold it at $6. Yeah, so my median price was $3. I opened a little bit early here already at the $8 and $6 levels, but I added big at the $1.30 level. And then finally the company was rescued by the Chinese government. And then, yeah, this big rally began and I sold at $6. And then it went to the high price of $67. Yeah, sometimes you just know it after it has happened. You cannot know it before. But this time I'm looking back at the chart and saying, okay, is it a cheap stock now? Because NIO is a big company in China and they will probably sell more of their electric vehicles around the world. And the design is made in Europe, here in Munich, in Germany. And therefore I believe that they will have a good standing in the future. And I also trust their battery, what they are doing with the batteries, because they have a battery swap station. And you don't have to wait for the loading of the battery like with Tesla. I'm driving a Tesla Model 3 and I always have to wait up to 20-25 minutes for a loading up to 80%. But with a battery swap you just need to wait about 2 minutes and the battery is swapped into a NIO battery swap station. And I believe that this will be the future of electric vehicles, and therefore it's still interesting to see it as a long-term investment here. With NIO, yes, I know it's dangerous because it's an ADR stock here in the US and it's a Chinese stock. Maybe this is one of more reason why the stock is dropping here. It's still in a downtrend, but it is on my watch list and I'm looking at it as a long-term, an interesting long-term investment in the EV sector. But I would wait for a clear bottom to be found and then an upturn again. I can buy it at $12 or $13 and it can still be cheap if it is going back to 30, 40 or whatever. So yes, it was a big hype. This hype is over now, but I still believe that there is a chance for NIO in the next 10 or 20 years here. This is my current, interesting stock on my watch list. So that's it. If you have some other interesting stocks, just let me know in the comments and we can discuss it the next time. So tomorrow we will have, let's just see the news for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have core PCE price index. So this one will be important as well for the Federal Reserve meeting next Wednesday. Therefore, maybe we will see 1 hour before the market opens, 2:30 p.m. my time, some bigger moves here. That's it. PCE price index will be important. And personal income, personal spending, maybe also. I will try to live stream this event here for you. So if you have further questions, just let me know down in the comment section and we can discuss about it tomorrow. I hope you will make some nice profits today. Wish you a nice trading day. Let's meet tomorrow again, 1 hour before the market is open. See you. Goodbye.